I am very surely not as good a speaker as Her Excellency. I tend to ramble a lot, and I think I'm going to be doing that right now for maybe 5 minutes just to ramble a bit about blockchain, ramble a little bit about why we're here, and energize you guys about being here and being part of the future. Each one of you unknowingly is sort of an ambassador right now for blockchain technology, just being here. There was no contract and there was no agreement signed, but being in this room, you are among the 100 people that know the most about blockchain in the UAE, in the Gulf region, and maybe even globally. And I'd like to cite a small example of how much in the infancy we are in the stage of blockchain development worldwide is that globally, there are 7,000 blockchain developers, 7,000, 8,000. In stark contradistinction to, let's say, Java developers, where there's 9 million. And growing 1 million a year. People are going to need to learn to develop, and we are right here in the infancy of this. But, okay, I want to energize you guys about what's happening today. This is exciting stuff, and the sort of flow is going to be, Dr. Noah will give some high-level examples, I'll give some high-level examples, and we'll have the guys from Microsoft and Consensus start at the very beginning, going throughout the day, and getting more and more in-depth in a masterclass environment to make you all experts. And so that when you go back to whatever company you're in, private, public, you can know more to educate and inspire the people around you. The key that Dr. Aisha mentioned about collaboration and community and partnerships, this is key to what we're talking about. Because in my mind, and I won't bore you with technicalities, what we talk about in blockchain is making data more accessible. And that's profound, to make data more accessible to other people. And we have some analogs, and a good way to think about data accessibility is to look back in history. When was data made more accessible? And you have, before the Renaissance, the single greatest invention to happen there was the printing press, where people can share data and share information about medicine and science and everything with other people. And instead of sort of a centralized repository of data, this was shared between, and what happened? We got art, we got science, we got poetry, we got music, everything. And even before that, during the Islamic Golden Age, you had like block printing. They found block prints that existed, and this was, they created algebra and science and optics and physics and because data was no longer centralized in one place, it was distributed and shared with people. What we have now as an analog looking back, we don't know what's coming next when data is going to be shared. Maybe we have another renaissance. Maybe there's going to be new types of science and art. What we can do is we can share some sort of early examples of data being shared in the modern era with new technology. You have, and I gave this example yesterday, where sort of in the early 90s, if you were to ship a product and ship a package, you would call up FedEx, and you would enter the number into your phone, and they would give you an automated response where your package was. And it was a very, very slow, sloppy, cumbersome process to figure out where your stuff was. And then 96, and you should look at these old websites where you can actually track shipping, track where your thing is. And that seems very simple. It's a very simple application. They had the data about where your stuff is, and then they opened it up, and now you can check it. But the key there, what was amazing about being able to track it in real time and share that data, is that now people didn't have to have warehouses of stuff. They didn't have to worry about supply chains and things coming in from around the world. They could talk to the banks and show, provably, that the package was on its way. And they can tell they can drop ship things. They didn't even have to hold things, and you can save time, save warehouse money, save energy. It was amazing, the impact of that thing. And so now when data is being shared, now fast forward 20 years, and in the world of technology, that's like 500. Fast forward, and we can see some cool things happening when data is being shared between, let's say, databases or blockchains. And there's some amazing examples and some really cool companies, like a simple problem that people have when they go to the bank to make a new account is that they got to verify themselves. Give your passport, give your lease agreement, give some sort of proof of address, and verify yourself to the bank. And let's say you're unhappy with bank A, and you want to go to bank B. Well, when you get to bank B, they got to re-verify every single part of that verification process with the passport and the lease agreement and the energy bill and whatever. You're upset at both of those banks. None of them do the proper stuff you want. You can't open an account for whatever reason, and something changed with your mortgage or whatever. You go to bank C, you got to do it all again. And this is happening globally. Millions of times a day, people are re-verifying themselves. There's a company called KYC Chain. They're basically putting everybody's identity and information on one blockchain, and everybody can access that data, make the world a faster place. The pilot project here, and I'll just hand it over to you, Dr. Noah, you can share health records. So, and I was explaining to you yesterday, you're traveling, let's say you're in Japan and you, God forbid, you hurt your arm and something happens, you go to the hospital. They have absolutely no way to access your Emirates ID, your healthcare records, and know who you are, and especially, really, God forbid, if you can't respond back. They have no way of helping you or knowing what blood type or how to treat you if they don't have access to your information. But creating these sharing data, like with Gutenberg and like in the Islamic Golden Age, sharing this data can help from breaking your arm on vacation to verifying yourself in a bank, to just a million new things, and we don't know what's possible next, and that's exciting. And so today you'll learn an introduction to how this all works, and the key here is to use the network here and really drink from the fountain of knowledge that's going to come out today from the amazing people. One of the founders of Ethereum, where a lot of this stuff is based on, is going to speak. And network, and to come up with new ideas and collaborate with each other, just play. There's no stress, there's no ego, it's just testing out new ideas and thinking about it together.